things I get asked most of all, well, two things actually. One is it possible to make money from YouTube, from having videos on there? And the second question, usually asked immediately afterwards, and the question people really want to know is how much. And it's all very well me to sit and say you can do this, you can do this, you can do that. There's actually several websites that show the approximate earnings, the estimated earnings. You can't get it exact, but you can get a ballpark figure. And I think it's probably fair to say that if you take an average, a middle of the figures that are quoted, you'll get a good idea of what a channel's making. So the site I recommend, it's just been redesigned, it's great, I've just got to find my way around it, is socialblade.com, and a good title when you go in showing people socially what you're earning there, and has loads of details. Now I'm looking at a channel here which is called Cute Girl Hairstyles. Okay, great name, and this is showing some recent stats. And we can see from that this channel, here's some dates, 3,500 subscribers added that day, 300,000 views that day, total number of views in total. And their earnings here, these are shown in euros. US dollars, if you're interested, is about 1.3 times that. So we're looking at, in a dollar range, between about $150 and $2,000. And that's for the day. Yes, this is a channel where a mother, a work-from-home mum, did a couple of videos for friends showing how she did her daughter's hair, and that's just taken off. They make a film about once a week now, and by most accounts are making about $1 million. The husband, the father of the family of I think it's 6 now, has packed in his normal job and helps hold the camera. If you're making $1 million a year, you probably would do the same, wouldn't you? So nice looking family, nice little niche there. Other people have copied various things, but you get some idea of what they've done. You get some daily averages here, and this is in US dollars over the year. They're 45 to $500,000. It varies across. In the second half of the year we're looking at here, they did particularly better, and you can see there, if we look, the number of subscribers a day, and this green is the number of users a day. We can, up on the left here, to remind you, this is socialblade.com, get some idea of their earnings, again in euros. That covers over the last year, and I say it's well believed that the last half of this year they got a lot more. Do get some adverts in. Look at their subscribers growing, and you can see that's going up. Some days it doesn't show, it doesn't actually show up every day, but you can see that. You can see future projections, what stage of the growth, so algorithmically when are they going to hit 400 million views, 500 and so on. Similar channels, recent videos. But if we go into monthly statistics, we can see here over the this is a period December 21 to January 19, 2013, 2014. Again, you get some idea of what they're doing. Let's look at one particular person. If you may not know, this guy is currently getting about 8 subscribers a second. A Swedish guy, and all he does, he talks a bit to the camera and just shows people how he plays video games. Sits at his home in Malmö, I think, in Sweden. And you can see this guy is making somewhere between, oh, you've fallen off your chair, yes, 1.2 million and 13 million yearly earnings. Remember, that's euros, so that's round figures 1.5 to 20 million euros. And that is, I'll just show the channel name again, PewDiePie. My Swedish isn't very good, so I don't know how that's pronounced, but that gives you some sort of an idea. He's graded A++. He's the second most subscribed channel in the world. YouTube's own channel for YouTube is the highest, and so on. And I suppose the things you want to see, you're probably going to go and rush that now, but let's just see what my particular channel, one I've been showing you on this course, shows. And I only get a grade B, but I'm working on it. 36,000 people have more subscribers than me. If you think of the billions of accounts, that's actually quite good. It's only 20,000 people have more videos than me. My views in the last 30 days that I made this film was just under 1 million. It's down a little bit. Subscribers are up 3 times because of the changes that I made, so I was getting a lot more subscribers coming in. That's a very impressive figure. You've got some earnings there. As I say, you can generally approve somewhere in between those. You can see that I'm there with full screen, and if I scroll down, this is covering a month's period, and you can see the view per day. And again, some of those days are missing. It's just the way this system works. And you can see some daily earnings there. So if it misses a day, then you can assume the next day it covers the 2 days. So that period there covers 2 days. That gives you some idea of what's on there. Shows the latest films. You can track subscriber growth. Again, the channel there, how many subscribers over a period, how that's growing each day, and you can see it ranges, you've seen from other films, from sort of 300 down to a few. They can look at, or you can look, and remember, anybody can look at this, you just need the YouTube username in there, and we get some idea of where we are at the moment. So by the time you see this, hopefully that will have increased considerably, but they're saying you look over the next 6 months, 9 months, next few years, and so on. Monthly statistics, you see what we're doing on a month-to-month basis, and earnings and so on. And if we scroll down, we can see an idea of average earnings over the year. Be somewhere between that figure, and I can assure you, yes, that is correct. And the averages here are, well, obviously an average is an average over a year, but it does vary. But these figures are about right. So that's socialblade.com, an amazing site. There's absolutely tons of information on this site. You got situations, see who's had the most unsubscribers today, who's had the most lost views. This tends to be, and I must stress, not always the case, but where people have put copyrighted films or whatever up and they suddenly lost their channel or lost the views. You can see which films have been most viewed. Quick look at that, and you can see some of these figures here. So Machinima, 10 million subscribers, 4.7 billion video views, and of course we can take that name, I'll probably type that in actually, we can go here, if I type it right and search that one, and that'll give us some idea of 8++ 13th best, and somewhere between $300,000 and $3 million a year on that channel. And you can see the 4.7 billion. So it gives you an idea of all the various things that can be done. You can check who's got the most subscribers, and I mentioned PewDiePie. At the time of this recording, it's 20.7 million. That is, I say, going up by, I think it's 8 every second, so you're going through about 1 million every 3 weeks, and every month it's getting less and less. And YouTube themselves, he's beaten them there. He's actually got more, just more subscribers at the moment. Smosh, you may know, Rihanna, you may know, Jenna Marbles, you may know. Now, some of these people in the top 10 are quite famous film stars, but others are just, say, ordinary people. I mean that in the nicest possible way, Jenna. But for somebody who's making between 124,000 and 1.5 million euros again, so 150,000 to around 2 million US dollars, you get some idea of the money that that channel's making every day. So always take very roughly a middling figure of these will be a pretty accurate thing. You've got YouTube, Twitch, and there's various other tools and things there you can look at. Most subscribed, look at the top 100 networks and the top 10 YouTubers. Socialblade.com is hours of fun, if only because you can see what people are making, see what people are doing, go in and look at their tags, look at their descriptions, look at what they're doing. I do this all the time. I try and get the best of everybody, and just because somebody's top in the earnings, they're not necessarily following all the things that I've shown you, and I've made some massive changes in the last month. You've seen those in this course, and even these people can make a lot more money very easily. Socialblade.com, save that in your bookmarks. So, YouTube secrets, how are we going to achieve that? I'm going to use this film, and in effect I'm going to reverse engineer it and show you why this film is so popular. This film has been seen over, at the time of this recording, over 500,000 times and had 1,700 comments. Not my best film by any means, but it gives you an idea of some of the principles. What I wanted to achieve for this film is that I knew that a lot of people search for North Korea documentary, and there's about 500,000 results for that. I wanted to appear very near the top, and you can see the top one there is an advert. This is in YouTube search. There's 2 others there. This one's had 1.3 million views, this one's had just under 3 million views, and mine there with 500,000 views is third. It's not ranked by views, as you can imagine. You can see there 3 million and 1.3 million, they should be the other way around. And if I just scroll down this search page here, this is the first page for North Korea documentary. That's also mine, 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 and that's just on page 1. If you go to page 2 or 3, you'll see similar results. This one has ranked second or third for about 8 months, so from it first starting, and has certainly been on the first 2 pages from within about an hour of when I uploaded it. So clearly, if we go back to the movie here, there's something I'm doing right here that is making YouTube put that right at the top of North Korea and North Korea documentaries. In actual fact, it's a whole load of things, and I'll show you them each separately. The first thing is that we talk about titles. The raw file is called North Korea's Secret Filming of a Country in Ruins. So when I edited this film, put it together, I didn't upload it as 123.mp4 or whatever, as people do, or some standard thing. You must, before you upload the film, change it so you've got some keywords in what's called the raw file. That's the file that you actually uploaded. So rather than this film was called 1867432 mp4, whatever it was, I actually called it North Korea's Secret Filming of a Country in Ruins. Remember that once a film is uploaded, you can't change the name of that, so you have to give a little bit of thought to that. That's clearly helped Google with North Korea and secret filming. And again, if people search for that, or when they search for that, we can see this does bring the film up. Going to move on now to descriptions. This is the description here. Now if I just make this box bigger, you might be quite surprised to see that that is quite a long description. There's a lot of detail in there, and the reason for I do that is quite simply it works. Let me tell you now. Let's dissect the description box. Let me just scroll that down. First of all, you can see my title, North Korea Documentary, Secret of a Country in Ruins, little left to see North Korea. I copy the title as the first paragraph, first line, if you like, of the description. That means those keywords are right at the beginning of my description. We know that Google likes keywords, on YouTube in particular. Remember that if you look at a website, Google can look at the words on a web page and can work out what that page is about. On a video, it's very difficult for it to look at the visuals and work out what the film's about. So it relies on things like subtitles, descriptions and so on, and we'll deal with subtitles separately. By doing this description in as much detail as you can, the better you will do. So I've got North Korea documentary, the title and so on, a bit about it, descriptions of what it's about, got the North Korea and the keywords, Pyongyang and so on, things that I want. And that's very, very easy to do, okay? Very, very easy to do, and you must do it. Longer descriptions work, and they work even more so now that your description will also appear as the first entry in comments by using Google +1 on Google+. If you put a long description in, it makes a huge difference. Google likes that more, they trust it more because they can see more wording and they can work out what's happening. The other thing that you must do is have all this. You must have links to other videos, other places, links to more information. The more links you've got, the better Google will trust you, the better that they will work with you. I'm going to show you something else that you can't normally see. If I come across to another tab here, this is a system called vidIQ, and if you've got more than, and I can't remember the figure, but they keep bringing it down, but if you've got more than several thousand subscribers, you can have this as a plug-in to your site. Now what it does, it gives me lots of details of how my site is seen. I've just gone to their site, let me just come back. You just see the stats there working, it works for any film. And there's going to be a slight delay when I stop that playing again. Just wait for that. There we go, just pause that. Right, so we get loads of stats on my films, but if you've got vidIQ, try and kill the adverts there. You can also, if you've got vidIQ, it's vidiq.com, you can see the stats on anybody's film, and you can see lots of interesting things which I'll take you through in this section. I get a score of 89 out of 100, so that's very good. Average length of view, there's 5.78 million watched. How many? I've got 293 subscribers as a result of this. How many shares, how many views, 500,000 there and so on. How many +1s, which is quite new, Facebook comments. But you can also see down there all my tags, which I'll come back to in a second. But you can see I'm getting a very basic thing there in green of 89% is very, very important. One of the reasons we get that is that we have 17 links in the description. Lots of people don't put links. 17 descriptive links, which if I come back to the film you can see are links to my channel, various other things in there. That has really helped that to work. So title, repeat it as the first line in your description, a long description, lots of words. The more details you can give on it, the better. Make sure it's in proper English. I'm not suggesting spamming or just putting loads of stuff in there. It must make sense, but that's very easy. If you made a film about something, write about it. It's an extra skill, but it will make an enormous difference to the number of people who see your film. Another of the very important things to do when wanting to get your video seen is thumbnails. And you can see on this film that YouTube has offered me 3 random thumbnails, none of which are very clear, and I went to the trouble of making my own. It took me 2 minutes. A very powerful thumbnail. There's a nice font there, it's very clear. We know now that putting somebody's face on here with text is the best way to do thumbnails. If you can get a face looking at you or looking slightly to one side and some text, that seems to be the best sort of thumbnail that you can do. It's certainly worth that extra few seconds to produce a thumbnail. If you do, make sure you do the text twice. You can see I've got a white text here and a sort of a green. This gives like a shadow effect, so white or black. It gives that 3D effect. And when you see all the other thumbnails on a YouTube page, that really stands out. And the eye takes in graphics a lot quicker than it does wording, so people will search for something. If you go down the page, let's go back here. If I just go through this page quickly, that sort of stands out. This is an advert for North Korea documentary. That sort of stands out. There's a face. Not clear who it is from that angle. I know who it is, but still. That on that page. If I just go down there very quickly, I'm going to skim back up again. I'm just going to do this with you again. Can you see how much that stands out? That one I can't read. That one I've no idea, no idea, no idea. I'll bring my mouse over this side. Very dark, pointless. That's a very compelling picture, that. One of mine. This one, all the hands on the bomb there, that's also one of mine. Not bad. That one, because it's got some wording on, is very good. That's very good, not one of mine. That one, the text is missing, so that's sort of lost. Don't know what that is. Very powerful, one of mine. Very powerful, one of mine. Very powerful, one of mine. Thumbnails are absolutely crucial. They're not difficult to produce. One thing that I made a mistake on this one, and it's actually worked in my favour, don't use that area of the thumbnail. This is obviously a very big one, but I'll do it on the big one. On the YouTube watch page, there's a little clock here, a counter that tells you how long the film is, so you lose that. It's worked okay for me because it looks like North Korea secret film. The ing is almost missing, but be careful not to use that bottom corner. So to reiterate, do your own thumbnails. Do, if you can, include a photograph of a person, that person looking at you or looking to one side. Do some text. 3 words is normally the most you can get away with. I've got away with 4 here, but you can see down here it's getting a little bit small to see. Here it looks a lot bigger. 3 or 4 words, and give that sort of shadow effect to the text. You can do that in lots of programs, or you can do it just by duplicating the text, and that gives it that sort of 3D effect and makes it really stand out. And obviously, do I need to say this? Yeah, I probably do. Use a font that's really clear that you can actually read. So that font's not very clear. If I come down here, that font's not very clear. North Korean, I can read that, but of course with the clamps around I can't see it. I'll try and see another one with a text on it. That, joined up writing, not very good. If you're going to show text, make sure you can see it, basically. Okay. Now, I don't follow all my own rules here, you may be noticing, on this titling, because that's something that I've learnt recently, and I'm in the process of going back. So the time you see this film, this may well have changed. But that's got me, at the time of this recording, 543,000 views in 9 months, 1,200 likes, 200 dislikes, and 1,600 comments. We know that Google loves comments, so that's going to work very well. That's thumbnails. Can't stress it highly enough. It doesn't bring more people, it doesn't help YouTube send more people to you, but on the page where you're competing for other film against other films, if your thumbnail stands out, bright colours, a face, 3 or 4 words there that really stand out almost in a 3D effect, it's far more likely that your film will get clicked, your film will get watched, you'll get more subscribers, more watch time, and so on. Messages to subscribers. This is a part that's missed all the time. I'll show it here on a film that's already uploaded, same film. I've got a long description of the film here, and before I make the film public, I'll explain in a second why I'm stressing that, I copy that into this box here, and you can see it's already greyed here. Once you've made the film public, You cannot change this. You cannot change it. So it's always best when you're uploading a film anyway to mark it as unlisted or private. Then you can go in and do things like annotations, text and so on, rather than it going live before you're ready. I always make the films private or unlisted first. I go through everything, make sure everything's done, and then one of the last things that I do, once I'm happy with my text description, I put it in this box. This then goes as a message to all my subscribers. Now at the moment that goes out to about 16,000 people, I think it is at the moment. That's obviously increasing daily at the moment. That message though comes to them on an email or on their YouTube screen next time they come in. Now I use this to reiterate the story of the film to make it interesting. But the other thing that you can do, and I do occasionally, if I've got a new channel opening or I want some feedback, I want some information or something, you can put that in there, and again that goes as a message. So you've got a massive mailing list there you can use. Just remember, you can only put something in there before you actually make the film live, and that's one of those things that gets missed and people don't perhaps understand, but it's a great way of bringing extra viewers to your films and also telling them about other channels, other films, basically doing some advertising for the rest of your channel. And under community, you've got a whole series of new settings, and YouTube are adding to these all the time. The first thing they show you is fans, and this is the help page for fans. What that tells you is that the fans page shows a list of some of your most engaged and influential fans, basically the people who have commented the most. It's also a combination of subscriber count and engagement level. You can sort it. Just needed to show you this only appears if your channel has a large enough number of subscribers. The large enough isn't defined. I know that's dropping every few weeks in YouTube's eyes, but you may not have this initially, but you will have that later. And what it tells you, you can see how many subscribers your fans have, how engaged they are with your channel, how often they comment, like, dislike and so on, a comment that they've left and how long they've been a subscriber, and then they get like a score based on how many comments, likes and subscribes and things they do. And if you're a Google Plus user, which most everybody is on YouTube these days, and if you're not, you should be, then if they haven't connected to Google Plus yet, that won't be shown, so they're in the process of updating that. So if I go back to this, in terms of fans, there's my top fans there, how many subscribers that person's got, the latest comments. I can add them to Google's, I can send messages and so on to them, and I've got various ways of sorting that. So this is a great way of knowing who to contact. If somebody like this person's got 547 subscribers on his own channel, this person's got 1,000 and so on and so forth, that's people that I want to engage with. I want to drop them email, I want to comment on their videos, I want them to tell people about my own channel, obviously. Now this is the community comments section. Now this is going to be updated very quickly, and as soon as it is, I'll update this video, because at the moment it's frankly not a lot of good because it doesn't actually work. For example, I've got minus 147 pending comments. Not possible, and if I refresh the page it changes. The idea of this page is that you can actually reply, you can see your comments, which certainly works on it. I can see loads of comments, and I can see who made it, which video it is, I can thumbs it, I can say I like it, I can put it in the bin, I can report it as spam or abuse or whatever. And you can see the spam ones that are marked as spam and remove them, and anything pending I can go through that needs to be approved or whatever. I tend to approve almost every comment automatically. That's built into the system, but this isn't quite working. The intention of YouTube shortly is that from this I can actually reply to each of my people who have commented, and that is absolutely crucial. I know it's time consuming, and I know some of the people are idiots. Did I say that out loud? But there's some very bright people out there. What you've got to remember is that a lot of the people who make these comments are the same people who call in, you know, those phone-in radio shows, and you sit there and think, how can people be so stupid? Well, if you're in the control room of the radio station, and I speak from experience here, the calls that get through and put through on air are not the ones, the bright, sensible, intelligent people. The ones that get through are the idiots, which is why you hear the idiots, because that encourages more people to ring. It encourages you to listen harder. If you're listening harder, you're probably listening to the commercials more as well. People who comment on YouTube, a lot of them are very sensible, all right, I love them to pieces and gain some friends literally all over the world amongst my subscribers. People I'll probably never meet, but if I'm in their town or city, yes, I will go and see them, we'll have a coffee and a chat. The great majority of people at the time to comment scare the life out of me and have no idea about the world, so don't worry about them. They are great entertainment for your sensible viewers, shall we call them. If there's a thread going and there's some funny comments and things on there, or comments that drive people mad or whatever, people will come back to your video. That's more watch time for your video. They're more likely to see your videos, your promotions, your programming and so on, and they're going to engage more, and Google's going to see that particular film as more important. So once this updates so you can actually type things individually, that's going to be a great help, and I can't wait for that. As you can see, I get an awful lot of comments that would make life a lot easier for me. Adult warning on this one, just there's a couple of adult words here, I'll just warn you on that. Not my fault, it's the fault of some of my commenters. This is comment settings. This is new and you really must do this. The first thing is approved users. Now on my videos, generally speaking, all comments are automatically approved, so anybody can put anything on. What you can do here now, which is a great idea of doing it, if you don't allow comments other than the ones that you prior approve them, which on a lot of channels is very necessary, particularly people are putting spam on or abuse or whatever, and if you're selling a product you only want certain reviews, you want certain comments or whatever, then you can set it here so that either names, circles or email addresses of people are automatically approved. You will also get, if you've got channels like some of mine, you'll get some abuse, and these people have all been banned. So any of these people make a comment, this is very clever, are you ready for this? These comments will never be shown, nobody can see them. There's an exception though. All these people can actually see their own comments when they log into YouTube from their account. Nobody else can. So they can comment away. The only person who can see it is the particular person themselves and me as the owner of this channel. So they're merrily away, commenting away. I'm sat here killing myself laughing because they can't be seen. You can, I'm just going to scroll over this bit. I'm just going to try and bring that to the top, because there's some swear words there. It's not going to happen. Best laid plans, okay, give up on that. Words that you don't want to appear. And we have people sometimes with a set of spamming where people are using rude words or sales things or whatever. So if anybody's messages includes that phrase earnpa.com, don't go there, don't go there, then their comment will automatically not be allowed. So you could put competitors things in there or whatever. You've got some default settings here. In my case, on my new videos, I allow all comments, so I don't do anything about other than the people that I've banned from there. I can hold them for review or not allow comments. This is for videos from the time you change this going forward. It doesn't change retrospectively. It's only from now on, but I've always set that as allow all comments. But remember, you can override that on individual films. And then you have the channel itself, the overall channel, and there, because I do get a lot of abuse there, it doesn't surprise me, but still, I hold all comments for review. That sends me a Google Plus or an email message, and that way I can look at them and approve what I want and what I don't. And you may think that's right or wrong. I'm not really bothered, frankly. Each of your channels, it's your own channel, decide what you do. But if you really think every newspaper and every television prints every comment they get in, well, it's not true. So that's the system there for comment settings, and you can go through that. There's a lot of options there. Just remember on these bits, this is new videos, so videos going forward I've set for allow all comments, but remember that you can override that for individual videos. Short film, this one, purely because on the inbox from your community this shows the latest messages you got, but the great majority of these now are sent by Google Plus and not to my inbox. I'm not too bothered about that. Still get a few, but you can see these, some here from January and earlier on, personal messages and so on and so forth. I haven't looked through some of these, so I need to do that, but the majority of stuff now comes through Google Plus, which frankly is a lot easier, not only for everybody else, but downside easier for me. So don't worry too much about your inbox. Just do what I haven't done there and just take a look at that. Obviously things like comments and so on I've looked at within Google Plus, or actually on the films themselves, and as other features become more prominent, like the comment settings rather than inbox, that'll make life a good bit easier as well. So let's start with subscribers again, same dates and times and so on. Quite fascinating here. You can see here that I gained, or let's start in the middle, probably make more sense actually. During the month here that we're covering, I gained 1,699 subscribers. However, I lost 454 subscribers. Now, normally, if you'd lost 454 subscribers in a month, you'd be crying your eyes out and biting the pillow on a night, perhaps. I don't actually care, because if people aren't subscribing, then they don't like the stuff, I don't really want them to watch. It's a bit like running a shop and people come in and they're just coming in to browse around and wear your carpet out and borrow your heat, basically, I suppose. I only want people who really want to subscribe. I have to say this was an extreme month where I made a lot of changes, and you saw I doubled my earnings and got lots more subscribers, as you can see, and did better, but I did lose a huge number. I normally lose 10 to 15% of subscribers every month. This was particularly high, but I'm not bothered about it, because, you know, if you don't want to be a subscriber, fine. What I'm delighted about is that figure there. In that 30 days, I gained 1,245 subscribers, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm really pleased about that. We can see here as the days went on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to compare a metric here. We're going to look at how many views we got for the same period. So here it's an orange colour really, isn't it? The views and subscribers. And you can see they pretty much follow along as you would expect. But you can get some idea day to day of how people have viewed your videos overall. Remember, here we're looking at every video, and you would normally want to break that down to individual videos and see what's happening, see which films are bringing you subscribers in, which ones aren't. So here we're looking at everything. Okay, some amazing stats there. But when we come down, we can see the source. Where have people actually subscribed from? Now, majority of mine, 816. Let me close that for a second. From channel or other, I gained 1,150. I lost 334, and 816 was the net result, if you like. Clicking the little question mark gives us this box. You can't close this box without pressing that little X, which drives me nutty, but at least it saves it appearing and disappearing. So this is without people going to a specific video. There you go. Going online, recommended channel. People from the YouTube homepage, recommended channels page, went in, and you can see that I gained 26, lost 13, net gain of 13. You'll also get a situation where people's accounts are closed, and particularly with some of my channels are a humour, a satire that people don't always get. Removal of closed accounts, they do a lot of that. Either accounts have closed, been opened wrongly or whatever, or more to the point, people who have their accounts closed for cheating or being abusive, shall we say. So that's the reasons for that. Let's just go into the geography for that, and this all runs quite quickly, I'm pleased to say. And you can see that it's amazing. From America, I gained 565 subscribers, but I lost 167, 1 in 3 of those. An average of 1 in 3 lost. It's not the same count, of course, 33%. But that drops enormously for the other channels there, can you see? So much more active for Americans. There's 167 people, so what? More than 5 a day said, hey, I don't want to see this guy's videos anymore. But fortunately, roughly 20 a day, 18 a day, whatever, subscribed. That got me a nice net gain of 398 from UK, Canada, Germany, Malaysia, Ukraine, and so on all the way down. 225 rows of them, so we won't go through that. We can also superimpose the dates on there, get some ideas which days were good, which days were bad. Let's just sort by subscribers lost, and we can tell straight away that the 15th of December was the worst possible day. Although I gained 75 subscribers, I lost 29, which is a huge percentage there in terms of views and so on. So again, 13th of December, 5% there of people said, I'm not watching this guy's films anymore. Remember, up here you've got question marks, things you can see what the various things are. You can compare how things go along here, and you can show subscribers gained against subscribers lost, if I can try and do that. There we go. So blue is subscribers gained, and red is subscribers lost. You can see this day is quite fascinating. I put them out there. That was a real low day, only 22 subscribers, but I lost an awful lot as well. So it was a real bad day. Was the 10th of December. It'd be worth going back and looking at stats and see what the heck did I do that day. And as you can see later on in the month, the blue line soared away. We got 62s and much better figures here. They're about the same. Here we're about the same, and then they started to pick up again. So just from a simple thing like subscribers, there's an awful lot of information that you can get. I'm just calling a map up there, and again we can see where people came from. That's sorted by date. Let's just sort by subscribers gained. A bit more meaningful metric. It's going to take a few seconds to come up. So the darker the blue, the more we've got. So Gabon there. Now what I love about this, let's go to the USA. We can see that in this period we gained in total 398, 1.4 subscribers for every 1,000 views. If I look at Iceland, probably none. If I look at the UK, 1.5, there's 100 there. Look into Poland, let's look into the Ukraine. It was very popular in the Ukraine this month. Even Russia there, 16. Let's go around the world so you can get an idea where people are coming from, wherever. And we've got an option here, there's more metrics you can actually put on there and so on. So subscribers, see how you're doing, see where you're losing. There's a particular day you put a video up, and again you would normally break this down by videos. You haven't got as many videos out there as I've got. And if you find that one particular film is losing your subscribers, have a look at that. What are you doing wrong in that video? And if it's something that's making you lose subscribers, do you want to lose them? Because subscribers can be very important to you, and generally you don't want to do that. So in my case, with so many, I appreciate on this particular channel that some people don't like what I do, and that's going to happen. So that's subscribers. Now that I cover comments individually in a separate part of this course, this is the analytics part of that, and we can see total engagement for the various videos and things here, how many comments people have made day to day. Comments is all about interaction, engagement with people. The more comments you get, good or bad, people are talking about your video, people are taking the time to write, you need to encourage that. I go into it in a bit more detail, but you can see here at a glance just the number of comments per day. That's across all the videos, and I can see a breakdown again for the month that we're looking at for the individual films. You do want comments, we cover it in more detail, but again this stats will show you the individual parts, and you can again compare how things are doing. So for example, let's have a look. If I get more comments, do I get more subscribers? That sort of thing. Okay, lots of detail again you can go through, but do watch the film on comments because it's absolutely crucial.